What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So very recently, as of the time that I'm starting this video, I uploaded an updates video on my 4 brands to try in 2024. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I will go ahead and link it down below. But one of the brands that I mentioned that I was actively purchasing, and you guys saw me actively purchasing these products, is Half Caked Makeup. Now, this is a brand that, for what I can tell, has been around for quite some time, but they're not really getting the buzz that at one point they used to. And it was still one of those brands that I really wanted to pick up, so I did. And I have the package right here. Now, there's been some type of content that I've been wanting to add to my channel where it's really long form. A lot of the beauty industry is very fast, and I completely understand, but I want to kind of sometimes take a minute to really evaluate the products all in the same video. So that's how this video is going to be structured. Basically, what I'm going to do today is show you guys what I picked up, and then what I will do is show you guys a first impressions in this video of the items, and then we'll get, like, you know, a future perspective of Blake on how I'm enjoying these products. And of course, I will then apply the products to give you guys my opinion. So if you're somebody who really wants to know more about Half Caked, you can really just go to this one video on my channel and see my opinions on all of it from the first point to the end. So I hope that this type of content is really enjoyable to you guys. It's going to take a while before I upload this onto my channel, but I think long term it'll be beneficial to y'all, but also beneficial to me. So that's how we're going to style this video. If you're wondering what's going on with my face, I really didn't film much of it, but I will have all of the items listed and linked down below. So let's just dive on in. Alrighty, so like I said, the package is right here. I have some scissors. Let's dive into the actual box once I can figure out how to open her. Alrighty. So pretty plain box, nothing really extravagant there. I have my order details, and then just some simple pink tissue paper around with some bubble wrap. I'm not big into like having really extravagant packaging, so no worries. I'm just giving you guys the 411. I did pick up a lot, so let me just get all this stuff unwrapped from the tissue paper so that you guys don't have to hear the noise. Alrighty, so now we can see all of the items in my order, and this is looking like a lot more than I feel like I picked up, but I did pick up quite a bit. So I'm just gonna open up my order details and just make sure that I got everything that I was actually supposed to. I do know that I picked up one eyeshadow palette, and it was like the kind of fall autumnal color type palette color scheme, and the tissue paper or the bubble wrap was taped. So it's called Perfect Match. Hopefully you guys can see that. And it's a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. It is quite small, but I wasn't expecting it to be really big, especially for the price. And this is what she's looking like. She's looking actually really pretty. Don't know if the camera is doing that justice, but it's looking really pretty. It's looking like something that I can easily travel with and be happy with the looks that I will get. I'm sure I had many palettes in my collection like that, but like I said before, I really wanted to give this brand a full overall review, and so that's why I picked up a lot of things that kind of may seem like dupes with stuff that I already have in my collection. Then let's leave that for last. Let's see. I got I think this is the lip gloss. Yep, this is the clear lip gloss that I got. It had more of like a warmer kind of tint to the sparkles, but that is it, and it is called Sparkle Motion. So I'm very excited for that. Then I also got I believe this is the liquid lipstick. Yep, and this is in a very beautiful neutral color. This is in Fight Night, so I'm very excited for that as well. Let's see. There's so many things. I have a brow pencil, which should be in their darkest shade, which is like ash brown or kind of black or something to that effect. I don't remember. It is a thicker pencil, so think of, if you are very familiar with AVH brow pencils, this is more of like the brow definer, not the brow wiz. It is a thicker tip to the top. Let's see. I also got their new volumizing mascara, which is honestly one of the catalysts for me really making this order. Nice, interesting. Let's look at the, okay, so that is the wand, in case you were wondering. This is not a wand shape that I typically love, but I do love me some volumizing, so I'm excited to try that. I already talked about that. This is the highlighter. So I don't have a lot of favorite highlighters, but typically if I do love a highlighter, it is in, or a cream highlighter, I'm sorry, it is in this type of packaging. Oh my goodness, come on. Oh, it's a twist, duh. And it has like a little nice clear top to it. This is what she looks like. It actually looks like a shade that I would get some beautiful, beautiful use out of. And this is in the shade Pop Star, in case you are interested. But like I said, we'll get into applying these products and stuff another day. I just really wanted to show you guys the items and then start this video off really. I also got their brow gel, and this is in the clear. Let's look at this wand as well. Oh yeah, this is a nice small wand, which is good for any eyebrow size, you know, like sometimes they're really big and I'm like, well, this is only going to work with people who have a lot of brow hairs. So that's really nice, because that's the type of wand that I typically will gravitate towards. And then I think this is, oh, this is the liquid eyeshadow. So this, okay, it's looking very pinky in the packaging. I knew it was going to be pinky, but I thought it would have a little bit of brown in it. Maybe it still does. I gotta try it, but I am excited for this. And this is cute without the E, but it has the E in the cute part. Okay, so there is that. And then the part that I'm so excited for is all of the, what are these called? The cheek and lip tints. Now I know I got one, no, I got all of these should be cream blushes. Maybe one bronzer. I think I got one bronzer. Let's see. So this is in the shade Chubby. Yeah, this is the bronzer. Yeah, I think I did good. This is a little bit darker than my skin tone. Not a whole lot, but it is darker than my skin tone. It should show up as long as it has decent pigment. And like I said, that was the shade Chubby. So really happy for that. And so these should all be blushes. I don't think I bought that many, but let's go through the list. So this one is an American Pie. It's a beautiful, beautiful pinky tone. Then this one is in Wild Berry. Ooh, that's nice and rich. Hopefully that breaks down a little bit lighter on my skin tone, because otherwise that's gonna be like a bruise for me. Let's see. Next is I'm a Solve for You. Oh, this is the cream highlighter. So they had two options, and this was the one that seemed like it would be more of a color for me. I don't think this is going to be a type of product that I love, but I wanted to give you guys a full review on this brand, so I picked her up anyways. These are all very affordable. I want to say like $14 or something, and I got these buy one get one, so I was really happy about that. This is in the shade Island in the Sun, so this is definitely a neutral for me, but it looks like it has a little bit of an orangey kind of tint or base to it, so it might actually show up, which is always nice. And then the last product I have to unbox with you guys is Hot 100, which is a bright red. Hopefully you guys can see it like that. So a lot of really nice items that I can now test out from this brand. I am very much excited to take the time to try these out, both on camera and off camera. And like I said, this is going to be a very long video. I definitely will have timestamps down below for you guys so that you can see, you know, what part you want to go to, jump to it if you need to. And I will do my absolute best to always have everything listed and linked down below, including both these items and, like I said, my full face today, because I have not used these items on my face today. But with that said, let's just go ahead and dive into Future Blake, where I am doing the first impressions on all of these items. Alrighty guys, so it is time for the first impressions when it comes to half-caked makeup. And I was just I had a YouTube video on, I was vibing, I was placing my makeup on, and I realized I have a cream bronzer. So I stopped and I wanted to do everything in my normal kind of routine. I didn't really want to change anything because I want to see how these things can kind of genuinely fit into my routine. Give me one second. I just got to take off this watch. All right, now I just got to find the bronzer amongst all of the other products, because all of these products are in pretty much the same outer packaging. I think I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the packaging now. Like, it's fine. And no, it's not that. No, it has to be one of these. Well, I thought, oh my goodness. Okay, here it is. It's the purple one. Of course, the last one that I picked up. Anyways, this is the shade Chubby, and I think it will work. It doesn't appear to be super dark, but this looked like the best option on the website. And the one good thing is that I did get a discount code after making this order, so if push comes to shove, I really like the formula. I can always repurchase for a better shade. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. I don't see any warmth that I saw on the website. I don't see any depth at all. Okay, that's disappointing, but this is a first impressions, and that's what these are for. So once again, this is in the shade, have I been saying Chubby? This is QB, there's no H. So that is not a shade that's gonna work for me. I may go ahead honestly and use that like 15% off code to get a darker shade to genuinely try the product, because I genuinely want to try the product. But the shade, I mean, I can't really tell how it blends or anything because I can't see it. So I'm just gonna reach into my Project Pan bronzer and just bronze up my whole face really quickly. And then I will be powdering with my own powder, because I decided to skip on powder in that initial order. And then we will come back to do all of the other kind of creams in my normal routine. Okay, so that was actually perfect timing. My AC just cut off. So I have foundation on, concealer on, powder, and both types of bronzer. I do cream and powder bronzer. All of those items will be listed and linked down below per usual, nothing changing there. And this is what the face is looking like. So pretty much this is like my normal routine. Nothing really unique from this brand, but we have a lot of kind of other stuff. Don't mind me. I actually clean my brushes for once, and so I have to kind of figure out what brushes I'm going to use for all of these things, because my go-to brushes are currently drying. I am going to figure out which one of these is the brow product. It's right here. We're gonna do brows. We're gonna do brows because I feel like I look real crazy. So yeah, like I said before, this is a brow definer, so it is thicker and chubbier. So you definitely have to be careful when you're doing your brows and filling them in with this particular product. The way I like to do my brows, though, I like to brush up each hair with no extra product in, and then I go ahead and shape them, sculpt them, whatever have you, with the actual brow pencil. So right off the bat, this is very, very soft brow pencil and very pigmented. So if that is not something that you enjoy, this is definitely not gonna be the brow pencil for you. And especially because of how thick the pencil is, I'm surprised it is so soft. But in a way that does make it easier for people who have difficulty filling in their brows or just want to fill in their brows very quickly. It will not take long to get your brows filled in with this product. I'm just gonna brush the product through, and there. It's a little bit stronger than I've been having my brows lately, but at the end of the day, the color looks fine. And all of that. If anything, I would say the color is a little bit darker than normal. I think my color is a little bit ashier, if you will. Not as stark, like I said, but it might just be because of the pigmentation level of this actual pencil. So I pretty much dialed back completely. I'm really not putting any pressure at all. None whatsoever. Just to ensure that this works out. Okay. Can't tell in the viewfinder if my brows look even. It is what it is if they don't. I'm just gonna bring it a little bit higher. Got caught in the brow pencil. Okay. So far, like I said, it's just very, very pigmented, extremely soft. And if I did not say, this is in the shade 5.0, which I think for them is like an ash brown. I know I got a clear brow gel. Let me just find it. Here it is. And it's called Get Fluffed. And like I said, I got it in the clear shade, which is 1.0. I love clear brow gels. That way, regardless of what I'm doing at the moment, it just really blends in. The key is how tight of a hold this brow gel is going to do. I'm gonna let that dry and do the other brow. It appears my hair really wants to be involved with this look today. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that brow gel. On first impression, it doesn't really feel like the actual handle or the brush is really pulling my brow hairs, and it does not feel or appear as though it's really pushing and laying my brow hairs flat. That is just a personal preference that I've enjoyed, but honestly, even if it doesn't really flatten them, as long as it really will hold the brow hairs where they are now, that I can work with. So we're gonna leave that where it is now, and we're going to try to find all of the other stuff. What is this? I don't know what it is, and I don't have my glasses on. Oh, this is the liquid lipstick. Oh, okay. This is the lip gloss. Okay. All right. Let's work with these two. So I am just gonna throw on a liner really quickly. This is my Makeup Forever Americana Brown. No, that's Makeup Revolution. This is Limitless Brown. So I'm gonna throw that on my lips real quick. Because I'm gonna be applying a liquid lipstick, I'm not gonna even bother filling them fully in. I wanna see the pigmentation level of that liquid lipstick. And there's something in the corner of my eye. What is that? Ew. Okay, so liquid lipstick time. This is in the shade Fight Night. This appeared the most kind of brownie, but now when I'm looking at them, is the light on? The light is on. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks a lot purplier than I was hoping for. Yeah, you see how that looks very mauve? Beautiful color, beautiful tone. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted a brown and I could not find a legitimate brown on their website. At least nothing that appeared like a brown on their website. But it's a very thin formula. I was able to easily, and it's completely pigmented. You can tell. One, it filled in that bottom lip, but I was able to just smack my lips and it pretty much filled in that top lip, which is a very, very good sign for liquid lipsticks. I know liquid lipsticks are not the thing right now, but so far this is doing really well. It's drying down beautifully. Even with the smacking, I'm not finding that there's any error with like the drying down. It's not like cracking or anything so far, and I'm talking, which is a very, very good sign. So I'm going to continue to let that fully dry down, and then I will apply my lip gloss on top. But I think now I have avoided the bigger parts of this collection that I really want to dive into, which is the cheek products. Now for me, I'm really excited for the cream cheek blushes. I find that this is the collection or category outside of the liquid lipsticks that this brand is really known for. I don't think that they're really known for any of their other kind of products. They just have expanded those respective ranges. The one I'm not going to touch today is this I'm a Slave for You. I'm just not excited for this product. I already knew I wasn't going to be excited for it. I knew that I was going to want to reach for this cream highlighter more, but like I said, I wanted to give a pretty well-rounded review on the brand, and I always forget this is a twist, so this is going to be my highlighter of choice today. I will try that cream highlighter in the pan, but that'll be off camera. So I have a variety of different colored blushes. I think today I kind of want to try a combination of these two. What I'm going to do, I want to see if this gives me any actual color on my cheeks. So I'm going to use one of my backup Angie Hot and Flashy brushes. That's why I have so many of these, because when I do finally wash them, I always want to have one that I can use. So I really packed it on the brush, and we're just going to, oh, it's showing up. That's good news. That's actually very good news. Okay. Can you guys see anything? I think you guys can see it when I shift my face like that straight on. The light does not do justice, but I think now you guys can see that color on the cheek. So this definitely gives off like a burnt kind of orangey tone, which I like. Yeah, I will say off the bat, this is very, I don't want to say gelatinous, but this is a sticky-ish product. I'm finding that my brush feels like it gets stuck every time I dip into the pan, but also I find that just applying it on my face, it feels like the brush is getting stuck on my face. And you can see now my whole cheek area is quite shiny. Not a love. So what I'm gonna do is take the brush that I used for powder, and I'm just gonna lightly powder what's left on this brush just over the zone. The goal is to hopefully bring down some of that color or the shine, but keep the color. And I have a brush hair stuck on my face. Yeah, and that's what happens when you get a really sticky product and you use a brush. You will get some brush hairs stuck on your face. It's just a matter of time. If you haven't had that happen, trust me, it will happen eventually. What I find with these types of products, like these cream blushes, is that it will not look very apparent on camera, at least not to my eyes with my little monitor. But after a couple of hours, once my oils start to really project, especially because I haven't been doing the best with keeping up with my skincare routine, it'll be a lot more pronounced. That's what happened yesterday when I filmed. It was a lot more pronounced when I was on FaceTime with somebody. So just know that. I'm gonna throw on the gloss. Okay. So the liquid lipstick did not fully dry down. That's probably on me, but it's okay. I do not mind if the wand gets a little crazy. And so yeah, now you can really see that that is a purple liquid lipstick. Not hating it. I used to love these types of colors, but definitely is not the color that I was reaching for or aiming to get. So because I have so much purple there, I'm gonna try to add just a little bit of the purple tone, which is Wild Berry, and previously on my cheeks right now is Island in the Sun, in case you're wondering. So I'm gonna get some of that Wild Berry and hopefully just get some of the color and not so much of the bloody sheen, although I think I'm just getting sheen. Just to bring some purple to the cheeks to tie this whole look together, hopefully. It looks very much just like a grease ball on camera, at least from what I can tell. So I've got to down some of this this shine. So far, I'm not loving these for the pigment that I'm receiving on my skin tone. I wish I got more color and less of the shine. That's my 2 cents so far. As for the liquid lipstick and lip gloss, I definitely prefer the liquid lipstick. It's, like I said, very thin. It did not feel dry on my lips, but I just am so used to a very kind of glossy finish. That's why I reached for the lip gloss, whereas the lip gloss is slightly tacky. Not overly so, but I definitely can feel the tack nonetheless. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about this. Like I said, I feel like to me, it just looks very shiny in this zone. You don't really see any color. I would love to hear from you guys if you have these products, how you have made them work, if like you have a similar skin tone to me. But now I'm really excited for this like highlighter stick. And this is in the shade Pop Star. Typically with these types of things, I just like to use my fingers. So I'm just gonna warm it up with just one finger to start it off, and let's just see how it applies. Unfortunately, I feel like it's just really melding into that kind of very glowy cheek. I'm not really seeing any distinction, and even on my nose, I don't really see anything. I don't. Oh, this is not turning out the way I want. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. So what I'm gonna do is do some setting spray action. First, I'm gonna go ahead and do my Monica Dar setting spray just to get all of my creams and powders to melt as one. We do still have some other products left to try for this first impressions, but I did just want to kind of start that off. And then probably before I put on my mascara, I will go ahead and do my Natural Finish LYS. That is kind of my sealing spray that I like to do, and I find that that kind of helps to set my skin in the consistency or finish that it is at the moment when I sprayed it. But we do, like I said, have one more thing left to try out, or two actually. 3. Can we count? I think not. And the first thing is I have an eyeshadow. So I was really excited to try this out. This is a shimmer eyeshadow, and I will use these, especially because it's a shimmery one. I think I still have a brush hair. Anyways, I will use these kind of more shimmery tones as just toppers or inner corner highlights or something like that. For a cream stick, I'll just use that straight up on, for a cream eyeshadow stick, I'll just use that straight up on my eye as a primer. But because they didn't have any kind of matte versions of this liquid, I'm just gonna keep with my normal primer, which is my About Face eyeshadow primer, and I'm just gonna take the time to really blend her in. And while I do that, I'll just go ahead and zoom into the camera and fast forward so that you guys don't have to see all this. Alrighty, so we are zoomed in now, just really focusing on the eyeshadow, and we have a pretty palette, very basic though nonetheless. And I think just because I want to try not only this palette but also the liquid eyeshadow, I'm gonna do a very basic eye look, but like I always say, I will be trying this more in the future. So first, I'm just gonna dive into the darkest shade, which is Burnin' For You. It's this beautiful brown, and I am going to focus that on my outer V. So far, I'm definitely not having issues getting any pigment on my eyes. I'm finding that it's decently pigmented. It's not like it's like obnoxiously pigmented, but it's really nice. I'm also not finding that there's any issues blending the product once I've gotten it onto my eye, which is all very good signs. I also am now finally getting like a very in close and personal view of my face, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's looking very crazy actually. The cream is, there's just a lot. I'm gonna have to figure this out because my pores have been so emphasized with this cream blush. It's just ridiculous, honestly. The cream highlighter isn't doing my nose pores any justice either. Yeah, I'm just gonna really have to work on this, honestly, personally for me. I'm sure in camera it doesn't look nearly as bad, but in person, it's not looking too hot. Not looking hot at all. Okay, and so I'm just gonna make sure that that brown really comes in. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this a avant-garde look. I just want a simple crease action presented. And then just to blend out those edges, I'm just gonna go in this lightest or lighter brown. There is a lighter brown than this in the palette, and just, okay, that was pigmented. So we're just gonna take our time and really blend that out because I was not expecting that to be as pigmented as it was. I'll bring more of that color on this inside. I definitely think that the blend is okay. Is it like my favorite blend? No. And there's something weird happening in this corner. I don't know what is flaking off. I have a feeling it's the primer, but it just looks weird. It looks very weird. Let's keep going. So I have a single shadow or a liquid shadow, like I said, and I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of do that and then just maybe blend it out with my finger. Okay. So I will say I like how it came out on this eye better than this eye. The difference being just the quantity of product that I applied. So I would just keep that in mind. But yeah, this is the shade Cute without the E. This was like the closest shade that I felt like I would get some use out of. I feel like this is very similar to some other kind of lid shades that I use in powder form. Let me go ahead and throw on my last setting spray really quickly. This should just allow my base to kind of set in its current state. Like I said, I'm still not in love with how my pores are looking in conjunction with the quantity of pigment I'm seeing here, but Okay, so let's do the mascara, and then I think we'll be done with all of the new products, and I will just finish up my face off camera and then kind of talk to you guys about my current thoughts when it comes to Half Caked. So I've already shown you guys the wand. Let's just see how she applies. Okay, so this is definitely a plastic wand in case that is a no-go for you guys. Okay, I will definitely say that you can definitely see the mascara. It's doing quite well. This is supposed to be volumizing, and I think I would have to try a couple of layers to see how it builds. So let me just do that, and then I'll come back once I've applied the second layer, because I'm pretty much a 2-layer type of gal, and then we'll see if I'm loving this or not. So I have not manipulated my face at all. I just went ahead and did the second layer of mascara. And what I will say is it actually really does appear to build up quite nicely. I feel like if you're somebody who wants to always have the appearance of mascara, or just needs to put on a mascara because like maybe your eyelashes are blonde or something, this is definitely something that you can wear not only every day, but maybe even on a jazzed up day and feel like people can actually see your lashes. That said, I don't see any lengthening really. Like, this is pretty much the length of my lashes, which isn't the longest, not the shortest either. So I'm not really hating them at all, but I love a mascara that even though it focuses on the volumizing, it gives me just a tinge bit of length as well. Last thing I'm going to say is this is a pretty dry mascara. So if you're somebody who is not a huge fan of that, just know that your longevity on this mascara is probably going to be very short. You're going to have to repurchase it quite often because it's already pretty dry, which allows it to give you the volume that you're already getting now. So those are kind of my off the cuff, really quick thoughts. And when it comes to this brand, let's do a quick roundup on like all of the products that I tried. First thing, let's talk about the cream bronzer. I can't lie, I am quite sad that this did not show up on my skin tone, whether it was for the fact that I got a shade that is too light for me, or whether it's the fact of what I'm seeing is maybe the pigment level is not where I would want it to be. Either way, I am truly sad about that. It is what it is. I can't really give you any opinions on the actual product consistency, all of that. It has a similar consistency, I would assume, to the cream blushes, but I can't really tell you. As for the cream blushes that are in these compacts, like I said, I tried 2 shades. So this one was the first shade I put on, which is Island in the Sun. And then the other shade that I kind of haphazardly applied just to bring some purple into my cheeks is the Wild Berry. And what I will say is that I find that I got a lot of the kind of base of this product and not very much of the pigment. I find that historically my Angie Hot and Flashy brush is really good at diffusing that and getting rid of some of the sheen so that you can get a lot more pigment. And if I'm taking that history into kind of context, that means that this is a very glowy kind of gelatinous type of formula, which may not be the best for those who have oily combination skin. This may be just a better formula overall for those who have more normal to dry skin. So stay tuned for that. As for the pigment level, I'm not really loving it for my darker skin. I think that this pigment level is really like a tan to maybe light skin friendly and not necessarily dark skin friendly. So that's my thoughts on those. As for the lip products, I definitely lean closer to the liquid lipstick than the lip gloss. Although I will say I did just take a drink and I still see a sheen. That is one thing you will find. People like tackier lip glosses because then their product actually stays on their lips, even though it may be a little alarming. I don't want to say alarming, but a little annoying when you're actually wearing it. That said, this is not the stickiest lip gloss I've ever tried, and it's not so sticky that I feel like I'm put out by having it on my lips. As you guys know, I did not try the cream highlighter in the compact, but the cream highlighter here, truly disappointed thus far. I was really excited for this, hoping that this would be something very similar to my Merit stick, or even the About Face stick, very similar to in that realm. I find that these are like the formulas that I tend to enjoy the most, but I'm just not loving it. Now, it might be just because it blended in with all of this kind of glossiness on my cheek. I definitely will be taking more time with all of these products, do not worry, before I do my final portion of this video, at least a month, if not more, because I really want to know these products inside and out and be able to give you guys a full-on review of these products and this brand. But yeah, like I said, not really loving those. As for the brow products, I really think functionally and just price-wise, these are actually quite good. It is just the fact that you need to know that that brow pencil is quite pigmented. When I say go with the softest hand you've ever done, softest hand, because even though I thought I did a soft hand on this brow, it still turned out quite stark compared to this one where I pretty much was barely holding the wand. So do know that. Let me check the brow gel because I haven't checked that. Okay, so if you're somebody who wants like a soft hold, this would be the brow gel for you. This is definitely not a hard brow gel hold, but I do find that my brow hairs are still somewhat elevated. So yeah, I would definitely say caution on the brow gel, but the brow pencil, I mean, it's nice. It's just very pigmented, very soft. As for the kind of eye products, right? The eyeshadow palette, nothing really to write home about, but that's what I expected. I expected this to be a really decent formula, but nothing that I was going to like shout out from the rooftops for. So I'm definitely not disappointed with this product, and I will continue to use this product, maybe get some more interesting looks and have some fun. For the eyeshadow, I think that this is actually a really decent eyeshadow, if I will say that. I found that I was able to blend it out easily with my finger. It was just about the quantity that I put on this eye, so it was harder for me to kind of blend it into the powder. But nonetheless, they both look somewhat blended into each respective powdered section of my eyes in the crease, and it's not creasing. So that's already a lot of really good positive things in the sense of this cream eyeshadow. And once again, I have this in Cute with E. All of the items will be listed and linked down below if I did not already say. And then lastly, for the mascara, I must say, I think this is a good mascara, especially in the realm of indie. I haven't found a lot of mascaras that I can say even can conflict or compete with the drugstore, whereas I definitely do think that this can compete with drugstore mascaras. You just have to know that it is already a dry formula, and so your long-term ability to use the product is going to be shortened because it's already drying. It's already dry, and so to get to a point where it's not going to have any moisture in there, so you can't actually apply it to your lashes. But with that said, that's it for my first impressions. I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and now we're going to go ahead and dive into my final thoughts after playing around with these items for quite some time. I'm so excited to finally come back to you guys with my full thoughts when it comes to the half-caked beauty makeup items that I picked up. I picked up quite a bit of items, and you guys have seen throughout this video the first impressions, the unboxing, all of that jazz. So I'm not going to go ahead and repeat myself, but I do want to go ahead and give you guys finally my final thoughts. We are over a month since I filmed all of my original content, so I've really been able to dabble with these items, both all by themselves but also with other items throughout my collection. I do just want to go ahead and apologize right now. I am currently doing my laundry, so in case you can hear that, I do apologize, but hopefully my microphone is zoning that out, and if not, hopefully in editing I can get that to be truly minimized so it's not as offensive to you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and do this in the exact same order as I will normally do i.e. the same order that I introduced these products to you. I do have B-roll so you guys can see me applying them today for this current full face. First things first is the bronzer. This is one of the products that I was most excited for. This is the Half Cake Bronzer in Chubby. This is my skin tone. If not lighter, it does not show up, which is truly upsetting. If this has the same formulation though as the blushes, I'm not offended though that I will not be able to keep this in my collection, and I'll explain more about the blushes in just a minute. But this does have kind of a petroleum jelly type feel. It is very sheeny in my opinion. Once you apply it to the skin, you really have to set this down in my opinion, unless you are of a drier skin type. This might be better for you, but of me and my combination oily, it's not my preferred finish in the sheen category, if you will. So yeah, between the color and the finish and all that jazz, this is definitely not something that I see long-term staying in my collection. Honestly, I could probably just go ahead and declutter it now, because it's just not going to be something that I can get any form of use out of at all. Some of these other products I may see towards the end of the year how I'm feeling, but that one, it's just not for me, unfortunately. I do kind of wish that I had a shade that was better equipped for my skin tone so I could get even more thoughts. But to be frank, I said I was going to pick it up when I first showcased this collection, or this haul if you will, because they were doing another sale, and I didn't because I wasn't truly that interested. So that tells me how I feel about this bronzer overall, and it's going to be a skip. Next, I got quite a few different shades of their cream blush. So I got 4 different shades of their cream blush. Some of them are some of their newer shades, some are their older shades. I'm just gonna open up one compact because you've seen them all throughout this video, and I just kind of want to talk about the actual product. So as you can see, this product has been used and it has something stuck in it, and that will kind of give better illustration to what I have my thoughts of this product. This is a sticky cream blush. I know I've seen some people like use their brush to pick up the product, then tap it off on the back of their hand and then apply it, and they feel as though that takes away some of the sheen. For me, with my darker skin tone, if I tap off some of the product on the back of my hand, it's not going to show up as apparent on my skin tone as it would if I would just go ahead and layer it up with its sheen, with its stickiness, and then just really work on dulling down the stickiness and that overall sheen with my powder. So in the B-roll that you guys are seeing right now, I actually did not dim down any of the sheen, so hopefully it's really apparent. But I like to blush drape, so I'm not gonna stop doing that just because of the product. I want to show you guys true to how I like to use products, and you will see right on the both sides of my nose, it is extremely sheeny. It's really showing the pores that I have in those areas, and you know, if you don't mind, you don't mind. To me, that's a zone where I don't want too much attention really brought to. So off camera, I really just took my brush and my powder and I really just layered on powder in those zones just to make sure it dimmed down. Now, of course, doing that, you really don't see the color in that area. But what I will say is these colors do show up on my skin tone, so I am very happy about that. Once again, I have American Pie, Island in the Sun, Wild Berry, and Hot 100. I know out of all of them, the one I was most concerned wouldn't show up on my skin tone is Island in the Sun. And although it does show up, it is very much a natural blush. So it looks like barely anything is there. So if you're somebody who wants like a barely there blush, this would be the shade that I would tell you to get if you are my skin tone or deeper. The other 3 blushes are pretty apparent on my skin tone, but overall, like I said, they have that like petroleum jelly type base that makes it very sheeny on the skin, and I just find the amount of pigment per the sheen, the sheen is drastically higher, and so because of that, I find that I have to always really dry down or kind of powder down my base, and that's not what I prefer. I prefer to have a nice glow to my skin, which you can still see now in the cheek area, and that's a combination of the cream blush the cream bronzer and the cream highlighter, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But overall, I will say that like I kind of wish that I was able to get this all over, but in a better way, a more subtle way, without having to powder over as much as I find I have to with these products. Long term, are these going to stay in my collection? They will definitely stay in there now. I don't know. Once we get to the clutter season, I might just need room. And to be honest, these blushes aren't anything that I don't have in better formulas. So we'll see. But I am happy that I was able to try it out. I've wanted to try these blushes out on my skin tone for years, and I'm really happy that I was finally able to give them a go. Diving into their cream highlighters, I picked up two different variations of it. The one that I kind of knew going in I probably would not like, but I wanted to give you guys as much of a holistic approach on the brand as I could. And this is Half Caked their I Am a Slave for You. So the duochrome effect I felt was better, something that I would get more use out of if I liked the formula. Once again, all of these compacted creams all have the same kind of base, the all kind of sheen, the same kind of formulation at all, right? So they have that very much petroleum jelly type base and, you know, very subtle buildable pigment inside. And so it just depends on what you need. If you are a drier skin tone, honestly, I would say check this brand out. Obviously find a YouTuber that has a dry skin tone or skin type like yourself so that you can see how it applies on them. But from my oily kind of combination skin, I would say that this would work best on that formulation. Today I demoed their No Chill Luster Cream Highlighter, and this is in the shade Pop Star, and this is once again a duochrome kind type of color. It's like a pinky gold situation, and I knew if I was going to enjoy one of their cream highlighters, it was going to be this one, and I knew myself perfectly. That's the one that I decided to demo because this is the one that I think will somewhat have a longer longevity in my collection. That said, I don't find that this really gives a lot of shimmer. I find that this just gives a sheen because of the formula, and so that's not really what I want. I want highlighter, I don't want sheen. Does that make sense? It's like more of like a wet effect, which is something that some people do enjoy. It's not something that I personally enjoy. And so that's why this is not gonna reach, you know, my Merit highlighter that I absolutely love. You know, it's not gonna reach that level because it's not giving what I want. But I definitely do prefer this stick formulation more though so than this compact. So there is that. Once again, overall, I'm just really happy that I've been able to try this brand for the first time. I'm gonna go ahead and dive into the lip products because that's the next thing that I demoed. We have the Half Caked liquid lipstick. I picked this up in the shade Fight Night off of the website. This looked like the most kind of brownie nude. As you can see, application wise, it's definitely more of a mauve tone, but I'm not mad at the color. That said, I find that this formulation is a little bit more finicky than I had previously thought it was going to be. What I found is that if you do not let this dry down completely before you do anything, it will get sticky, and that's not a favorite of mine. Today that actually happened to me because I was in a little bit of a rush trying to get this video filmed and subsequent other things that I want to get done today. And prior to it fully drying down, I applied the gloss, which we'll be talking about in just a second. And although I definitely think that the gloss is slightly sticky, not appallingly, but it is sticky, it just felt like it just got worse and worse and worse. Now I will say I did clean off my lips and try to reapply it again, and I still feel that same exact stickiness. So I just feel like this is one of those things where if you don't get it right the first time, just don't reapply it, pretty much, in my opinion. Otherwise though, it's an extremely thin formula, which I do appreciate, and I do feel like it dries down decently quickly. I just was being very impatient today because of, like I said, just feeling like I'm behind and wanting to get so much done in the couple of hours that daylight happens and all that jazz. Next is the lip gloss, like I told you guys before, and I got this in the shade Sparkle Motion. I find that this has a slight tackiness to it, but nothing appalling, nothing egregious, and I do not feel the shimmer on my lips once it's been applied. That said, I also don't see the glitter once it's been applied either, so there's that as well. Otherwise, I think this is a basic lip gloss. You know, there's nothing outstandingly great about it, but nothing terrible about it either. Will I get my use out of it? Probably. But is it going to be a brand or a formula that I'm going to run to pick up again? No. I don't see me running to pick up anything in that lip gloss range, or honestly the liquid lipstick range. I knew I wasn't going to get a whole lot of use out of the liquid lipstick because I do prefer a glossy sheen or a finish at the end of the day. But I did, once again, just want to test out a lot of things, and I've heard great things about the half-caked liquid lipsticks that I wanted to go ahead and try them again. Two more things, or actually three more things, I'm sorry, that I wanted to go talk about. Let's dive into the eyeshadow palette. Now, you guys will be seeing the demo of that right now. And this is an eyeshadow palette that I knew going in was not going to have a lot of texture, was not going to truly really stand out in my collection, but it was going to be kind of a basic Betty, one that I would feel comfortable traveling with, or even giving away if a friend really wants like some autumnal type looks to do with an eyeshadow palette. I think this is fine, right? It's really good quality. The mattes are pigmented, they're blendable, all of that jazz. I love how dark this brown is. It's deceptively darker on my eye than I thought going in. So I really appreciate that. I usually will reach into this lighter brown for a crease color, which is really nice. The variety of different shades is good as well. I typically only reach for like 3 or 4 shades in this palette. I just have my preferred like look that I want to do, and there is that, but there's no true variety in the formulations here, which is why, like I said, I knew going in it would not really top some of my other kind of go-to eyeshadow formulas. I also picked up one of their shimmery liquid eyeshadows, and I got this in the shade Cute Without the E. I think this is fine, right? I don't think this is overly shimmery. This is not like a Stila Glitter and Glow. This is like a shimmer and glow, right? So there's not really any glitter in here. It's more of a smooth metallic that you can use as a base if you're somebody who likes to do that, or as a topper if you're somebody who likes to do that. I tend to reach for this to do like an inner corner, which is how I demoed it today. Or if I don't want to use a shimmer from the palette or from any palette, I'll use these. Just put a dollop on my lid and just blend it out, and it works out that way. So I definitely think that this is a really good product. It did crease a little bit when I used it all over my lid, but to me, that's not like a deal breaker. I don't mind if things crease on my lid. I just try to make a note for you guys in the event that you care. The last thing that I picked up and demoed for you guys today is their mascara. And this is in the shade Black Heart, and they indicated that this was their volumizing mascara. To me, not much volume really coming from this. I find that this is a lot more lengthening than volumizing, which, if memory serves me correctly, is exactly what I said in my first impressions. Is it bad? No, but I think I could also get this from a drugstore mascara, which is easier to access. I don't have to get a box shipped to my apartment, etc., etc. So overall, how am I feeling about Half Caked? In my opinion, with the way that I do makeup and on my skin tone, I'm feeling like it's a brand that you can skip. A majority of these products I don't think really stand out, and I don't think that they have a very long-term time that they're going to be staying in my collection. I will definitely keep them in here as nothing to declutter at the end of the year, and that'll be very unfortunate, but it's just one of those brands I've always wanted to try, and sometimes it's good just to try the things that you really want to try, because then you get more satisfaction from it. And I have a satisfaction in knowing now, okay, yes, it may work for this person, yes, this may work for that person, but it just does not particularly work for me. There are some things that I think could potentially stay in my collection past this year's declutter, but I think a majority of the things that I picked up, my friends are going to enjoy, because I'll probably send them their way. But that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the steps between unboxing, doing my first impression, and now this kind of final thoughts portion of the video. Please let me know if you want to see more videos that are this long where you get to see kind of the full process. I kind of like doing this, but it does take some time to get these videos out to you guys. And so that would be kind of the pros and cons of seeing more of these videos on my channel. But with that said, that's all I got for you guys today. So I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.